Okay, welcome everybody to the fourth episode of Cold Ale and the Sober Snail. We're going to sort of divert a little bit this episode. We want to get back on track. Our fourth member is back with us, our snaily, slimy friend. We're going to talk about... we're going to talk about... we're going to sort of go to one of our other interests, video games. And we're going to talk about one that we've all kind of revisited after a little bit of a respite. We just checked it. It came out on March 24th, 2016. And we're talking about Dark Souls 3. Now, Tim, if you had to rate it on a scale of home style to Italian, how spicy of a meatball would you rate Dark Souls 3?
I'm going to go with... hot ones with Sean Evans, trademark. Spicy.
That's very spicy, Tim. I know what you mean.
It's a very spicy.
Spicy meatball.
That is maybe the spiciest I could have come up with.
Burns twice. The Chinese spice.
So, as a group, again, we are a bunch of friends that play games together. We've all went back to Dark Souls 3. When Dark Souls 3 first launched, I know I personally was playing it on PS4. I think I put probably 400 hours in or something just ridiculous. We did a lot of just mostly PvP and stuff. But yeah, we really enjoyed it. And it's definitely not my type of game especially, so I was really shocked at how much I enjoyed it. This was the first Dark Souls game that I got into, and I can't wait to, and that actually leads me to, well, we'll get to that at the end, about our future podcasts, Twitch, Let's Plays, that sort of thing. So like I say, let's go around and talk about our weeks, what we did, what we're drinking. I definitely had an interesting yet very long week, so I'll go last.
Oh, yeah?
How about we start with Tim? What do you? How was your week, bud?
Pretty much all I did that was eventful this week was I went rock climbing for the first time.
Oh,
And that was tiring.
that was exhausting.
Sounds a lot like exercise.
Had very sore still sort of do, fingers and forearms especially. And my
Wet
hands have
noodle.
never been so dry between the rocks and the chalk.
The chalk, yeah. I've always said that hiking is a fancy word for walking uphill. But yeah, that's actually something I've always wanted to do. So, would you recommend it?
Yeah, go for it. As long as you can.
You sounded like you had such a fun time.
Yeah.
No, this
You
is
were really the
Yes,
rock
go.
climbing community. I'm sure is just overjoyed.
If you can do one pull up, then you could probably do it.
Oh,
So is that something you're gonna
Do that.
continued with? Get better. We're just-
Maybe. I went with some friends.
yeah.
I don't think I'd want to go by myself.
What kind of friends make you work out?
Good ones.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Tim, what okay, so that pretty much wraps. Sorry, I'm just noticing that our video is now buffing. So that's unfortunate.
I thought that was just on
You're
my
gonna see,
end.
you're gonna see some cryptid shit in his basement.
No, we put up a placeholder for Tim, but I guess I don't know if my I don't know. Okay, next let's go to Pruitt. How was your week? Oh wait,
good.
Tim, what are you drinking?
Nice.
Every goddamn time.
Nice. All right, Pruitt, how was your week? What are you drinking?
I went up to some friend's house. I helped them build a patio a couple weekends ago, and now everything was there. So they were like, "We want to grill," and I was like, "It's 100," but we did it anyway. So I just sat there. I was like, "I'll cook outside. I don't care." They're like, why? I was like, "It's already hot. It's
You
fine."
just put the meat on a rock and it'll cook. You
Exactly.
don't need a grill.
My chest is like blast burned from the grill. I just sat there. I was like, I don't even feel this. I feel great.
I thought you had like 5 pounds of shrimp.
Yeah, and about 10 pounds of clams.
Okay.
It was a good
That's-
time.
that's
I
a
was like,
pretty
let
good,
me
yeah.
do the stuff with the shell. I wanted him to get crabs, and I was like, I'll do it. I know how to do
Yeah.
this. I've been experienced, but no luck. No one could pull through on crabs. But no, I just pretty much got mild heat stroke this weekend. But I'm actually drinking water today. I gave blood, and I feel like I'm gonna pass out. So I'm gonna stay with water. I don't think Palenka is a good idea.
That's the
even though
weakest
I
thing
tried.
I've ever heard. Just kidding. Stay safe.
Neat.
Don't pass out on stream.
My blood's my blood, my property. I ain't giving it
My
up.
blood, my
No
Hear
way.
that, everybody?
All right, we've had this argument, like the 23andMe things. Like, I don't trust those, but like,
No.
I respect not donating blood.
The thing with the Red Cross is like, as soon as you give them one time,
Where
they
does it
call
go?
you repeatedly.
My
That's
blood
why I
isn't
was
going.
like- It's like, stop. I had to block the Red Cross because they'd call me twice a week telling me to come in and give blood.
Give us your blood, Benjamin.
I know. It was. I didn't have like a. I'm like A positive. I didn't have like rare blood.
That's what I had.
My fiance is
You
actually
had that
O
too?
negative.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
Oh,
she has
shit.
like that rare one or like the universal donor or whatever.
Oh.
She
you
doesn't
go.
give.
Oh, they
it.
want her blood.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
if you,
yeah,
if
they
you
do.
get fucked up, you're good, man. Good,
Yeah.
good insurance policy.
All right, David. What'd you do this week?
So this week is in Washington. They were celebrating the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. So in D.C. on the Washington Monument, they had a life-size projection of
Oh,
the Saturn
yeah.
V rocket. It
Oh,
was
that's sick.
hyper realistic looking, like the smoke and everything. So I checked it out on Tuesday night, which is a still image. That was pretty cool. But then Friday night we went back and they had like a 17-minute video that went with it. They had these giant projection screens.
Wow.
Sound system was great, and it was like moon landing from takeoff to landing on the moon.
Let me
Just
see if I
very
can find
well
a picture
done,
of
like
that.
cinematography. It was really cool. You like watch it actually like launch off the monument, and it was dope.
I'm gonna bring a picture of it up in case you haven't or are watching it. Watching
I'm
this
sure
stream
the
and wanna
pictures were all over the place.
See it. Okay.
And
That's
what I'm
not
drinking
what I
is
was-
a
there it is.
rocket.
Never forget your roots.
All right.
Right, Bud yeah. Humble
You can't go
beginnings.
wrong.
Humble beginnings.
I've never heard
How's
anyone
that,
like deny it.
How's that taste?
Nostalgic.
A
Clean,
fancy
crisp.
blue water can.
Yeah.
That's one
And
adjective.
I can't wait. I don't know if this is true, but I heard a rumor that they're gonna do Area 51 inspired cans. So
No, they.
just believe I'm gonna be buying a case of
Bud
that.
Light, like I think, put out a tweet or something that was about like
Oh yeah.
the
Yeah,
aliens
free beer
drink
for every
free or
alien.
something. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, I tried. What are they? My buddy Scott kept putting them up on his Instagram. Natter Days. I tried
Natter
one of
Days?
those.
Oh
Did
dear
I-
lord.
I kind of like them. They're not god awful. I was like, Natty's like horrible, so anything you add to it that doesn't taste like shit is gonna make it just a little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh, the splatties were in full effect. That is nature's drainer.
Jesus Christ, Church of the Natter Day Saints.
God
Fantastic.
Oh man.
Reach.
All right.
damn it.
All right, well, we'll move on to me then. I got an interesting week. So my brother is in the U.S. military. He's in the Navy. He's on a ship that I actually have on my background right now. It is a amphib, it's like a landing something platform. Basically, how Brady describes it is it's a
Imagine a carrier, except the only planes or vehicles they have are vertical takeoff.
right, yeah, but they can't do
Essentially,
Harrier though. I asked him. They can't do like Harrier jump jet. It's mostly like helicopters and Ospreys. But anyway, so he's on an amphib ship. It looks like this. I have it on the background. So he came back from deployment in the Navy, and trust me, if you would have asked me, is this something the Navy does, having no idea, I'd have been like, no way do they do this. But essentially, they have you can bring family members on board, and when they land down south, you can ride with them back up to the shipyard in Norfolk, Virginia.
Huh.
So it's pretty wild. We actually did it. So it was
I
on the
did
ship for
did
like
one of those on my brother's ship before
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, they call it a Tiger Cruise. I was on the ship for like 24 hours. My brother, I'm not gonna like talk about his position or anything like that, but he took us around the ship. We got to see a lot of the things that he does. Back here is like the landing deck. This is like a small boat. I guess, I don't know, he probably doesn't give a shit. He's a rescue swimmer, so he gets launched out of the side right here if they have like a man overboard or something, the water needs recovered. But yeah, it was a really cool experience. They showed us all around the ship. They had all kinds of like activities and demonstrations and stuff for you. Had a really good time as me, my dad, and my uncle. And yeah, we really enjoyed it. It's kind of one of the things, I mean, it's definitely, you weren't comfortable. You're sleeping in, shitty beds and stuff, but it definitely makes you an appreciation for our troops. And I'll tell you what, if you can ride that thing and not think that this is the best goddamn country out there, then you're a communist. You can leave.
Did they
So,
do
yeah, that was
a
cool.
demonstration of the guns and stuff like that for you
Yeah,
guys?
yeah, they did. I think there's like 30 millimeter. There's like
Sea-Wiz.
some surface to air missiles and stuff.
Yeah.
Now they didn't shoot those off, of course, but
Damn.
they're a little too pricey than the 30 mics. But the 30 millimeter
Yeah.
cannon, I think they have like 50 cals and some 240s.
Yeah,
and
the
some
Sea-Wiz.
stuff. I'm not sure what that
That's the
is.
thing that will it basically just shoots a lot of bullets really, really fast all at once, and just knocks out missiles that are coming.
Yeah,
towards it.
okay.
I don't know if Brady. I don't know if I want to talk about too much of the defenses.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think it really matters, but
They might not have
I
it
don't
there.
think it was exactly like that. But this one
Okay.
does have different types of missiles that have different anti-missile countermeasures. So that's sort of what
Yeah.
it's for.
Badass.
Brady, he did say that like foreign militaries design missiles to try to defeat our systems, essentially. So
Right.
yeah, you got to stay ahead of the curve. That's why our military budget is as big as it is. But we can get in that into political pastries whenever we do another one of those.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really cool. Definitely, if you know somebody in the Navy and they offer it up to you, I definitely recommend it. It was a lot of fun.
Cool.
So then, of course, he came back for deployment. We had a big family get together all weekend. Had a lot of our choice, obviously, is Yingling from being from our area. So we had a keg of Yingling, a lot of good food, a lot of good barbecue and stuff. Saturday night was rough. That's why this podcast is delayed by a day. I just wasn't up to it yesterday, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I am drinking since I didn't really have a whole lot of time. I'm still in my beer stash, and I've got Rolling Rock again, and I've got a Land Shark as backup. So
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
I'm reminding myself why we drank. I like Rolling Rock, and it's great. It was like our cheap go-to beer in high school. So yeah,
Can't beat it.
when we were all 21, it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Held back many years.
The
All
slow
right,
kid.
cool. So, what have you guys been playing this week? Anybody want to shout anything out in specific? For me, it was I didn't have a lot of time, but of course, Rainbow Six Siege. Trying to keep up with that. Played a little Division. Played a little Far Cry 5 again. Just sort of chewing at all those. What about you guys?
Well, no, I was just sticking to Dark Souls. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
There you go. I've been I brought my Switch with me since I was on the road, so I was
Ooh, yeah.
playing Slay the Spire. It's like a card game.
Heard of that?
I love it's addictive.
Yeah, I bet.
And played some Smash on the road, whooped ass, and still been getting into 76. Just another update came out with have you guys all played Fallout?
Yeah.
I've played,
of course.
yeah.
So if I say Liberty Prime, you know what I'm talking about.
greatest
Yeah.
character.
they added a skin you can get
Oh, cool.
that turns all your power armor into Liberty Prime. So when you boot it up, it's like Liberty Prime is America, and I'm like, this is amazing. And like while you're fighting, you'll start like shit talking, like death is a preferable alternative to communism.
And how much was that?
I think if you bought them flat out, it'd be like $15.
So you spent
but
$15.
Well, no, I had this. You can earn it all in
Worth
game
every
with, like,
penny.
atoms and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I had them because I didn't know what the hell to buy, and then I found one that had American flags on it. It's like I'm not gonna get the Liberty Prime without
Right.
flags.
Not
No, of
not
course.
knowing.
I'm such a
Exactly.
sucker, yeah. I don't really buy a lot of skins, but if they put in like an American one, like American flag,
Yeah, I'm
like
gonna-
in Siege,
I'm
just
gonna
the
get it.
glory camo, like I
Mhm.
of course
It's
bought
good
it.
stuff.
Worth it, yeah.
Patriotism gets me every time.
Yep, no doubt about it.
Dark Souls and
So yeah, let's where are we at? All right, we're at the 15-minute mark. I'm going to do my
I'd
first
like to
cheers.
cheers.
Well, we're at 14
Nah.
minutes. Oh, you want it? Take it.
Oh yeah. God bless refrigeration. It was a hot one last week. I mean, it was just downright disrespectful.
To air conditioning
It's
and
disrespectful
refrigeration.
outside.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Oh my god! Well, that takes my cheer. Fuck.
Yeah.
I just do it again.
I'm
you're
fat.
right.
God damn.
Yeah,
Like, I
we
need that
after
shit.
after that weekend we could double up the air conditioning, I think.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So we're gonna start with Dark Souls. Now, Dark Souls is again, it's a spicy meatball. It is a, especially in nowadays when games are no longer like punishing. Yeah, you remember back in like the NES days, the SNES
Oh,
days.
yeah.
You had some games that were just flat out ridiculous. You know, like,
Unfair.
yeah, I mean, you had like your some that really were a high skill gap, like your Super Mario's and stuff. Super Mario
Fucking
3
Ninja
was,
Gaiden, dude.
yeah,
Oh my
Ninja.
God.
Yeah, that was a
NES,
tough one.
It's impossible.
Yeah, I used to play Mega Man as a kid. I remember
Hell
that was
yeah.
tough. I
That's
mean,
a tough one.
those were
Jump and
hard.
shoot me.
I used to be way better at Mega Man than I am now. I bought the collection for Switch, and I'm awful at it. I beat like
Same.
the first one, and then I was working on the second one. But man, it is hard. It is really hard. So, yeah, but you just don't really run into games like this anymore. And I think that's why a lot of your gamers out there really still appreciate these games, just because of how punishing they are. But I'm going to let Tim kind of take over this one. Tim is our resident, I would call him like our Dark Souls wizard. I mean, Tim knows the lore. He knows the
Lore master.
Yeah,
I like skeletons.
and he get
Bones.
He's
and
our
he
guy.
gets it. So I'm
I
gonna
mean, I've been
kind
playing
of
this for years now, and I still don't understand the
yeah.
storyline. But
When we were even talking about subjects for this, me and David were like, well, we don't know much about it, and then Pruitt and Tim know a lot about it. It's like, why don't they teach us? We can ask questions. And Tim's like, I think you're just too retarded to even do that. No, he didn't actually say that, but we vetoed it just because.
You better have everyone talking.
He didn't actually say that. But Tim came up with what I think is a better topic for us to talk to, especially if you don't care about the lore and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm going to turn it over to him, and I might have put him on the spot a little bit, but let's just let this conversation go. And let's get into some Dark Souls 3.
you got a picture you can put up?
Souls review.
I mean, I got a background. You see it?
Okay. Yeah.
That'll work.
Praise the
So, Pruitt,
Yes.
what is your current build in DS3? And
Quality
I know,
faith.
why is it strength?
All right, it's like 60-18, but I mean, like.
You want to maybe explain the game for
Quality.
people who don't, or maybe
Yeah.
aren't 100%.
Do you want to take that, Tim, or me, or how do we want to?
If you don't know what it is, then I'm sorry.
Get good.
Probably turn this podcast off right now and start playing.
It's about
Go play
you.
Dark Souls.
Go get good and then come back.
Right.
To this podcast.
Learn the 8-frame parries.
8-frame pair.
None of this
Only
wimp
the-
stuff.
Only the Cestus. Just backhand that shit.
Oh,
Oh my god. So, with Dark Souls, you have I don't know. It's basically like I want to say it's an RPG, but it's not. Like, all right,
Yeah, not really.
you're this character. This is your job. Kill everything in your way. Do the thing, and then do it all over again because it's futile. Like that's basically the plot. You can pick from how many starting classes are there, Tim? Like 10?
The thing that makes it an RPG is you just get to pick how you want to kill things.
Yeah.
So, do you
Yeah.
want to use big, heavy
Bunga bunga.
weapons? Yeah. There's
Oh,
light
me
little
unga bunga,
knives.
Me smash people
bows.
good.
You can do these really cool like spells, like a wizard, right?
If you
If
want
you're
to be
If
a
you're,
coward.
if you're casual, you know, you don't want to play the game.
oh man. I don't
The
think
Souls
that answers
community is
any of the
hard.
questions, but okay.
See, but that's the beauty of it. Dark Souls doesn't answer a single goddamn question. Like
Yeah.
you just play through. I guess I'm killing things, and then they're like, maybe I'm the bad guy, and that's
Might be.
pretty much what happens.
We truly are the Walking Dead.
Oh my god! Yeah, if we got the lore, we could be here another hour. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do that.
So I didn't even hear what you said. What did you say? Strength, faith?
Yeah, it's like 60-18. I like using Morin's baby rattle because faith is amazing. Someone runs up on you, just hit them with a lightning spear dunk, and all of a sudden, like 3/4 of their health is gone, and they don't know what happened.
Big boy, big damage.
Plus, you gotta praise the sun.
You do. You do have to. Couldn't agree more.
Hands out, not forward.
Mhm. Know the difference. Save your life.
It might be a mad spirit.
I'm just
So
looking
Ben.
through like the Dark Souls Twitter right now. There's some good art on here.
Oh god,
Oh, here we go.
get off that cesspool.
Ben, what's your build and
It's
why
all
the strength?
It's all-
So my old character on PS4, I did a quality build. I think the really kind of like the meta at the time was like 125 for PvP. That's what we really got into as a PvP. So I can't remember my exact stats, but if you look up quality build, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah. Which weapons? What were you doing?
I was I like those the twin blades. I liked the Abyss Watchers.
Fair and great
Yeah,
sword.
the Fair and Great Sword.
Mhm.
Yeah, see, I just don't know like all the terms right off the top of my head, so you're gonna help me out there. And then
Yep.
I got pretty good with the Black Knight Greatsword. That was really my go-to.
That thing is the
it
great
was-
sword or the ultra great.
The Ultra Greatsword, the big one.
Okay,
Yeah.
the one with the uppercut, which
Yes,
is amazing.
yeah. So basically my goal when I PvP'd, I had like a small parry shield that I worked with, and then just that sword. And it was, I can't remember all my rings and stuff I had on. Pretty much anything that was, if you like Googled PvP rings or whatever, that's what I had on. Like that one that gave you the extra critical shot or whatever.
Hornet ring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Hornet ring, bingo. Yep. Yeah, so again, I never got into the lore and all like the backstory and stuff. We really just played a lot of the PvP. I think we beat it like I don't even know how many times. I think it was
Fight
only like
Club
new
outside
game
Pontus.
plus 7 or something. So we really just beat it just because we kept going to one arena to the next and like fishing for new people. So we just kept going around. But yeah, the duels were really fun. High Wall of Lothar, we spent a lot of time there. After Pontiff. Yeah, and then even at the end, you could get one going there right before the Soul of Cinder at the end.
There you go.
So yeah, that was mine. Quality. Now this one, and I actually have this in the notes. I want to do a new build reveal. I'm going to go a little different with this one.
Ooh.
I
What's
was
the baby's
sort
gender?
of I was building towards a quality build, but I'm going to try to do a straight up bleed build. So that's what
Okay.
I want to do this time. Like that
Level of
Karthus. Karthus Rouge and the Karthus Greatsword, or the what's that one?
You want the
sword?
Grave Warden Twin Blades for that bad
Yes,
boy.
I heard. Yeah, I don't remember if I'm pretty sure I had them,
Is
but
he
I
trying
never
to
really
sneak
worked
a
it.
Dex build on us?
That's the
He's
Yeah,
just trying to rebrand.
Yeah.
I was poking around the Dark Souls wiki,
I don't know.
and I was like, yeah, I think
kill the feed.
I think I'm gonna do a blood build, or yeah. So that's what I'm doing this time around. As I work.
No,
through.
believe me, it's not Dex. Also, that is this isn't witchcraft; it's alternative medicine.
Oh,
That could be fun.
Okay.
No, I tried to bleed build, but I just got very upset.
I very well
Couldn't
might.
bleed.
I'm not sure.
good luck.
Yeah. But David,
Yes.
what is your build, and
Oh.
why is it int based?
What based?
Intelligence
Intelligence.
based.
Oh, it's not right now. It's just survive.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
build.
What level are we right now?
Goal to
David?
survive.
We have new
I
characters.
actually don't know the
I think
level,
I'm in like
but
the
I've got
40s, I think, or the 60s. I mean, I think.
I've got about 20 in everything that I have, so
Yeah.
just pretty much
Huh.
all around pretty even.
So your objective is to survive.
Yes, because I don't know what I'd want to do yet.
Fair enough.
I come up with something and then you guys
Strength
tell me
build.
why it's wrong. I've
Yeah.
already done it. It's fun, but it's like it's pretty, it's just
Miunga mi bunga.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
smash. You
Yeah,
just hit
right.
things.
no. The first
Poison
playthrough,
doesn't exist.
I started as pyromancy and then switched into casting.
You dirty.
And then he never looked back.
Can't believe we're
Nope.
friends.
Soul stream, soul stream, soul.
People are the worst.
The most amazing useless spell in the game is Soul Stream. It's so cool, but against people, it like doesn't do anything. Like unless you
Oh, it
just
doesn't-
if you catch their foot, it's gonna nuke them. But like if you just whiff,
You just gotta
You're
get the
gonna
hit.
yeah, you're gonna get backstabbed so hard. It's not because they get like 3 seconds to walk up to you, just slap you
Yeah.
across the.
Yeah, you just
face.
snipe them across the map.
Exactly.
Oh my god, I hate you. And then you wear that stupid ring that keeps you invisible up to a certain distance.
Oh,
God,
the ring of
I
obscurity.
have nightmares about that ring in PvP.
No, he didn't use that.
Didn't know
I think
about
you
it.
have to. I think you have to get like 30 pale tongues to get that.
Yeah.
Is
Oh.
that-
I don't remember. I just remember like being at the fight club and being like, "Oh, there's a phantom in here. I don't see him though." And then a soul stream just come out of nowhere from the top of the stairs. I'm like, "Oh, you piece of shit." So yeah,
You bitch! Damn you, Frieza!
Frieza.
makes me so angry. All right.
And then there's me.
The snail.
What is my build,
Take a guess.
and why is it Dex? Well, I'll tell you. Because me no unga, me no bunga.
Me on a family.
me swish swish, tacky quickie. No, this time I tried doing a hexer build. So pretty much going into and using things like soul dregs, deep soul dregs, etc. But I was too upset because every time I tried to fight something or I got invaded, all that stuff was useless. And then I was just a wimp with 10 health, walking around with crappy weapons and good spells, but the spells don't do anything.
Why is that?
So I re-rolled back into something much better. Dexterity.
I thought there was hope.
So why don't hexes work in PvP?
They're just too slow.
Gotcha.
And yeah, it just doesn't work. They have really good tracking, but they never hit.
You know, it always works in PvP.
Exactly, real
Strength
weapons.
builds. Strength builds.
But
Yeah.
usually I go Uchi because
Uchi-katana.
I don't even like it that much, but it's just good.
Yeah.
But this time I'm going Frida's Great Scythe.
You seem to be
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah, you really
Yes,
do.
a lot of
The
fun with that.
edgelord. The edgelord.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh,
That and the Frayed Blade.
Yeah.
that thing
Since
is fun. I'll give
yeah,
that thing
that's-
some props.
Frayed Blade is delicious. And then this time I'm doing something special.
Ooh.
A simple infused parrying dagger in the other hand. So
Oh,
I'm
no.
constantly getting FP regen. So I can keep using those weapon arts.
There you go. That's a
And
good
then,
idea.
of course, Black Bow of Ferris and
It's hand.
Pyromancy Flame with what is it?
Sacred Flame.
Chaos.
No, not this time. Since everything, all the pyromancies blow in DS3,
Sacred Flame's pretty good.
it is hilarious.
You grab them and you're just
Was
like, Kalima! It's just so up.
Let's see, was it Flame Snake, Black Flame, and Toxic Mist?
Why Flame Snake?
'Cause it's funny.
Oh. I was like, that thing does
That's
chase pretty
why.
harder. Like, what is it? Black Serpent? Is that the other one? Black Serpent's pretty good. I think that's
Yeah,
the
well,
curse
both of
version.
those dark ones, because dark damage is just good.
Now
Since
let's just cut the feed and play Dark
pyromancies
Souls.
are awful. Yep, that takes care of that.
Oh man.
Let's go kill Aldrich, the fat boy.
Yeah, I think this
That's
is. Oh, sorry. No, keep going.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, like, learning like about the bosses after you fight them is like you
Yeah.
kind of feel bad because like I don't know, it's been 3-4 years. Like if you haven't played it by now, it's your fault. But like
Nah,
the
don't worry about
reason all the
spoilers.
reason all the bosses get like revived is no one rekindled the flame or ended or perpetuated the cycle of fire. So as a last ditch effort, those 4 were revived, which was like 4 bosses.
Yeah.
And none of them fucking did it. They all just fucked off and went back to like where they where they lived. The Abyss Watchers were just killing each other. Yorm just sat down in his kingdom because he was sad. Aldrich just ate everyone in Anor Londo. And who's the other one? I'm missing one, right? What else am I
Lothric.
missing?
Before.
Lothric.
Yeah.
Lothric, they were destined to relight the flame, but
They're just like,
yeah,
nah.
the older brother was crippled by a demon, so he like walks around on his hands, and the
Mhm.
other brother is just frail, so he can't do anything. And they're like, "We're just gonna let the world suffer because we don't want to do what we are destined to do." And so you go in there and kill everybody, and then you have to fight the Soul of Cinder, which is basically like everyone that linked the flame before you, perpetuating the cycle. And exactly, so it's
Oh,
like
man.
this. The whole timeline of Dark Souls is so fucked up, but like it just always
Yeah.
gives the idea, just no matter what, it's gonna keep repeating. So that's where like the multiplayer aspect comes in. Like, hey, these are other guys lighting the fire, and
Right.
it's just interesting. How
I
they
think,
did it.
yeah, I think besides the obvious like mechanics of it, of Dark Souls being
Mhm.
just solid, and then all of that, all of the things like the depth of the actual gameplay. I think no one could deny that. Really, the best part about it is the environments that they create. You know, like
Mhm.
your
The maps.
yeah, the undead village and the Loth, you know, just all of it. I think there's not one point. The only one I really, even though it was still a good that was annoying was that damn swamp. But it was still a well-crafted area. The Fair and Keep.
Yeah.
It was still
like taking one step outside and getting your boots filled with feces.
I hate that shit in any game where it's like you can't be here for too long. It's just it drives me crazy.
You might want to move.
Yeah, but even that was well crafted. So that is something that I was never into these kind of games, like ever. I was pretty much strictly like shooter and I guess like action adventure. I always like Tomb Raider, Uncharted, those sort of games. But I was really a big just shooter. I mean, I was really at first-person shooters. And then when a couple of my buddies I used to play Battlefield with got me into this game, and man, I got a whole new genre really opened up to me, and I really enjoyed it. So I think the art is incredible, and all the different the bosses especially. We're actually gonna get into the bosses here shortly. I think we're gonna name. How I broke it down is like the hardest boss, your favorite boss, and then like the worst boss. I think we're gonna
answer all three of those in one. But go on.
Well, Tim, you can do that, but I think we're all gonna have fairly similar answers probably. But I'll be interested to see what we say when we get to that. So yeah, Tim, you got anything else?
Oh no, you go ahead and
you want to go into that?
Get that going.
Okay. So I think we should start off with. What do you guys think? Where should we start? Hardest, worst, or best?
Probably hardest.
Hardest? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to start. I don't want to start. So somebody else go. I'm actually still kind of
the first boss is the hardest. If you haven't played Dark Souls,
That's
and
true.
just started the game.
One of our buddies just started. Yeah.
You can't phone a friend.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do. You just have to take on Gundyr. And
Just
he
the
will
audio
spank you.
Of him playing is incredible.
If you can't beat Gundyr, then the game's not for you.
It's
That's
really
the
not.
reason he's there.
Just return it and save your what is it now? $20?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's some incredible level design. I really like. That was really intelligently done. So I respect the developers for doing that.
Beginning of the game, you don't have any crutches.
Yeah.
You don't have any spells or miracles to fall back on.
It's
No
rough.
items.
Big boy pants on.
Yeah,
Light fire bombs.
yeah. You know what? That was the funny thing because when I started my new character, I couldn't remember like what to do. I think I usually go knight and then I pick like one of the rings. And our one buddy on here, our Appalachian American friend, is like, he's from West Virginia.
In the press.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, get the black fire bombs." He's like, "That works good on Gundyr." So I smacked Gundyr a few times, went into a second phase, threw fire bombs, had like 5 health left, kills me. I'm like, "Oh, that sucks. I'll restart." No fireballs.
No firebombs.
No fireballs. So now I don't have a ring or firebalms.
Oh, no.
And that's just how the game works, and that's kind of the beauty of it. It's like, tough.
Risk reward.
Yeah. So to summarize, don't ever listen to Johnny, and
Or just be good.
yeah, or just be good. Yeah, man, I was so rusty. Yeah, I was so rusty just playing with getting the controller back. I've been on PC games for a while, and just trying to use the controller again and stuff. It was definitely rusty, but we
almost quit.
We got it. Yeah, I almost was like, I don't even want to do this. I'm done with this game already. All right. So okay. Who we start with? Who's to do there?
Let's go, Dave.
Dave.
I just did one.
Your hardest?
Oh yeah, you just said.
No, I was. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yep,
Oh, you're being serious? Okay, that's actually an interesting
yeah.
take.
I'm low on blood. I didn't. I
Yeah.
kind of thought you were kidding, but that is a very good.
Yeah, that is a good point. I like that.
No, that's the hardest one. You can't phone a friend. You can't have someone help you.
I think
It's
that's
just like
because he's
Yeah.
got to do it
Yeah.
on himself.
you gotta do it on your.
Yeah.
And
You
when
don't
I
get
started, I was like caster or whatever, so I had
Get a dagger.
literally win. I mean, I almost broke my controller.
It is
Yeah.
very unforgiving.
I think I picked up the game before some other friends. Yeah, and I needed that extra time. You're all ahead of me.
We're running through, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
That's
Oh
great.
my god. That's
All right.
amazing.
Pruitt, what's your hardest boss? I want to let
Hardest
Tim go
boss.
last because he knows the game best.
So, are we doing with or without DLC?
Let's do without.
With
Just
Without?
Okay, we can do with, but I just don't know the DLC. You know, I only played the
I'm just
DLC
trying
one
to think
time.
who gave me the most trouble, honestly, and I think it was the Nameless King.
Yeah.
He
he's
whooped
not
my
easy.
fucking ass.
Oh yeah, that actually might be the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I fought him.
And he's
with
even optional.
friends.
You don't have to.
I know you don't have to
Yeah.
fight him.
Mhm.
But I was like, I'm not gonna not.
I think he's probably also my favorite.
Oh yeah, he's badass. He's like Gwen's
Yeah.
disowned
Yeah.
child. You know, it's
Yeah.
like all
That's
right.
pretty cool.
But
But,
anyway, yeah.
And he comes in riding on something called King of the Storm or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? And then he just like you slap his dragon out of the sky, and he's like, oh no, you hurt him. Zap.
You only made
Yeah.
me stronger.
Yeah, you obliterates
You
the
should have
dragon.
dealt with
in
my
one hit.
dragon. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
killed
I'm
the
like,
dragon.
oh.
Congrats. You killed the weaker one.
I was just a tutorial. Dude. Like,
That's the
oh,
first
shit.
level over there.
Watch out.
Oh man.
Fucking- And his weapon's worth it though. Oh, that fucking Dragon Slayer sword spear, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so fun. But that's a fight I actually beat by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you bring
That's
friends in, the amount of health he gets is
Oh yeah.
ridiculous.
Really? Yeah.
And it's stupid.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Let me try it by myself, and I did it after like 4 go. After I did it about 50 times, I was like, let me do it by my fucking self. And then 3 o'clock in the morning by myself, you know,
Yeah.
like fucking got him. You know,
yeah.
that was fuck.
He is brutal, no doubt about it. Okay, that was actually my hardest, but I'm gonna switch it up.
Yeah.
I think my hardest boss, who also might be my favorite boss,
Okay.
is the dancer of the Boreal Valley.
Really?
She destroyed me like many times. I don't know why. I guess I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I had a
movement's
lot
really
of trouble with
Did
her.
that grab attack
I
stick
thought
you on
that
the
was one of
skewer?
the easier ones.
Really? No, man. I remember struggling with her. Maybe it's like this the time we got to her, because I think I actually beat her with Johnny, one of our buddies. I don't know if it's just the time we got to her. I just remember restarting that one multiple times. I don't think, to be fair, I'm just trying to be different, because I do think probably the Nameless King is the hardest one.
Right.
But I just want to put it out there that I think the dancer is. She was tough. But I think
She's just telegraphed odd.
the reason
Everything's
yeah.
like a wind up.
Right. The reason, I think it was like the timing I just struggled with.
Mm-hmm.
The reason, though, I think she could also very well be a favorite boss of mine, just because like the music, her movements and the grab, it was just
The way she moves is
unprecedented.
fantastic.
Yeah, it was just wild. I really enjoyed it.
It's like a mantis.
Yeah, so I think she's probably up there. But
Also,
anyway,
stuff
yeah,
behind her.
I'm gonna put her as my. I just remember really being like, ooh. And I guess, and I also just remember going through like the New Game Plus or whatever, and when I got to her, I was like, oh fuck. You know, like we went back to the Boreal Valley, and we were like, okay, we gotta go beat this.
It was just
dancer,
sexual
you know?
tension.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but I do think, if I'm being like completely objective, I
That's
think...
what he means with hardest.
Yeah.
In that case, I need to change my answer.
It's for
It's the tree. It's the
All right. Yeah, but if I'm being completely objective, I'm gonna say Nameless King. But anyway, all right. Tim, go ahead. What is the hardest boss in Dark Souls 3?
So, this is saying you're doing this solo.
Okay.
Initially I wanted to say Dark Eater Midir, but my answer is definitely got to be Sister Frida,
Oh my
Father
god.
Ariandel, and Black
Yeah.
Flame.
Yeah.
Frida.
Dude, that's the first DLC boss, right?
Yep.
That one
is-
was really hard. I do remember
can
that.
be.
Yeah.
I had a great time with that one,
Yeah.
and I beat it on my on the character I've been playing with you guys. I beat him on my first fucking try, but she just about killed me. I had one of those divine blessings where it gives you all your health back. I was
Yeah.
like, "Fucking sensu bean, bitch!" Just smacked that shit, and I was like,
Right.
"I got her."
So pretty.
Man, that's
That is the
delicious
worst
one.
fight. Oh my god.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
was tough. I do remember, because that was a pretty short
horrible.
DLC, and we got there pretty fast, and we were like, "Holy shit!" Yeah, that was a tough one.
Who's the guy that has like the bracelet?
High Lord Wolnir.
Yeah, Wolnir.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
Wolnir-
remember that one. I couldn't
Man,
figure
he's
out how to
nasty.
beat him.
Yeah, he wins the prize
Oh.
for easiest and also most difficult. Because
Yeah.
you could just go in there and slap him like Pinwheel,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or
Or
Gotta get them damn bracelets off.
you gotta
Yeah.
watch for that smoke.
The
Yeah.
largest variance.
Yeah,
between
that smoke
difficult
could get
and
you.
Easy peasy.
Yeah,
He
that
just,
smoke
like-
could get you.
He just fucking drops a vape cloud on your ass. You just get
Yeah.
into the. Just,
Dr. Jewel.
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You can have all the poise. Well, poise doesn't matter in 3, but you can have fucking a billion health and everything else. The second that gas hits you,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you're
basically
done.
standing in lava.
dead.
Yeah, once you
Just
get
fucking dead.
that purple haze, vape smoke,
Remember, hey, you know,
smack you right in the face. Yeah, I think that's a good one. So,
Oh god.
oh wait, Tim, did you say your hardest?
Yeah.
It
Sister
was the
Frida.
Sister Freed. Yeah,
Oh fuck yeah.
yeah. I definitely agree that one's up there. That was tough. Okay, let's move on to. Oh, damn it, I missed my other toast. We got a second toast. Who wants it? Or I'll take it.
Go for it.
Take it.
All right, the second toast. Praise the sun to my sun bros.
Pray it.
Praise the sun.
Praise the sun.
I'm not gonna lie, I do Mound Maker every now and then.
I really
always,
love
always
The,
sunburn.
the chaotic neutral.
I love purple.
It's like, what's gonna happen? What am I gonna do?
card.
Wild card, bitches.
Who's out of Estes? Oh,
The-
you.
Oh, the things
my
I do
shackle.
for a
Yeah.
shackle.
I like to forget.
Oh man. Okay, let's move on to the worst boss in the game.
Alright.
So we went from the hardest. Now who's the worst boss?
Worst, like, design or just, like, the fight? Like, just.
Just worst, whichever one you want to go. I don't care.
What is it? Old Demon King.
Yeah, okay. That was
It's
pretty
just
boring.
like that one. I think is also optional, and it's
Yeah.
just like
It is.
it's
It
it's
is.
literally just a who
I
gives a
think,
fuck
yeah.
fight. Like you can go in there, you beat him up.
And then
And
you
then he
just
does,
walk
like-
out the same way you came.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he like he goes
Oh.
supernova, blows all his power up, and then just sits there like dying in front of you. It's
Yeah, I
like,
think
you
that's-
just
Yeah.
like you just drop dead. Do I even have to like swing at you? And he's just like, like he like
Yeah, it kind of
like,
feels like an
slapping.
afterthought. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
like, we got some extra space right here. Let's just throw it.
I guess like
kind of reskin.
I guess like
like,
the point of it. The
Guess
point
he
of
is
it's
old
like that.
pathetic.
mhm.
Like that whole lake there, that's from Dark Souls 1, that's like Lost Izalith, like what's left of it pretty much. So he's like the last of the demon kings or like the big ones, so to see him like go out like a bitch, I guess is the whole point.
Yeah.
But it's just like a sad fight. It's like, could he not just like fell over dead and I get the fucking demon fists and then I
Yeah.
walk out of here with like less of a hassle? Like,
Yeah.
why you gotta make my life inconvenient?
Yeah, I could go
You're
with
a
that
bitch.
one. He's like almost not even a boss. Like he is, but
Right?
yeah.
Cool
Yeah,
moveset.
that's a
I like his
definite
moves.
it's a definite real possibility. David, what do you got? Worst boss.
I don't know the names of them well enough. I
Go-
can't.
just-
Describe it.
Describe
Yeah.
it. We probably know it.
I honestly, it's been so long since I've played through the game.
You could argue
Crystal
Wolnir.
Sage.
Yeah,
Crystal
Crystal
Sage,
Sage
she-
sucks.
She uses
Oh,
intelligence.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one was a little interesting at first, trying to.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
Oh, whack-a-mole. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't really
Maybe
have.
the deacons. That was also pretty
Oh
lame.
yeah, that was mine.
Deacons
too,
is
bastard.
funny.
The church congregation of just
Yeah.
like they just
That-
play like leapfrog with the soul, and it's like, no, you
Yeah.
die, no, you die.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
And
that
then
was
you get
actually
to
the
kill
worst.
the Pope.
Yeah. Yep. To murk the Pope.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that one wasn't. It wasn't too fun.
That was actually gonna be mine, but I'm gonna switch to another one. That's fine.
ooh.
So I'll take it. I think the worst one in the ball, and you're gonna know why immediately after I say it. It's probably Yorm the Giant. Because
Yeah.
I feel like that one had so much potential. It was a cool story, cool build up, that sort of thing. But then they put that Stormbreaker, right?
Storm
Storm
Ruler.
Ruler.
Storm Ruler. They put his Achilles heel in the room. So all you gotta do is run over there and grab it, and then just smash him with it. And
But
it
that was
wrecks him.
Yorm's idea. Yorm's an idiot.
He's
He's a giant.
I was
Giants
pretty
are stupid.
disappointed. I thought that would have been pretty cool, but yeah, I think that was probably the worst one just because of that. And even if it lines up with the lore or whatever, it's
Right.
still just like I feel like they could
definitely
do a little better.
know that going in, and I got my ass kicked.
Oh, really? Yeah. See, I
Let
knew
the
it.
sun shine upon this rose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Fucking
very
C word.
difficult if you don't.
and I didn't have him
Yeah.
either because my game was busted.
hmm
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
It's
He's-
really interesting if you have Sigmire,
Yeah.
Sigward.
Yeah.
Or if you have Sigward,
Mm.
but
Onion boy.
if you didn't do all the perfect things to get him in there, then I guess they're like, well, we can't just screw them like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And also, there are two of the Storm Rollers, and Yorm had one, and he gave one to him. He's like, "You're gonna kill me with this someday," and he's like,
Yeah.
"All right, I'm an onion,"
If I ever go crazy,
which I will.
come back and kill me.
No, you got it.
So what? Let's move on quick. What is? Wait, we are at. Did we do our? Yeah, we did our third toast, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll have one more then before we're done here. So yeah, that was probably the worst one. I'm gonna call it just a quick audible though, just because if that wasn't there, I think it would have been a really cool boss fight. So I would also like to nominate another one. I think that fucking tree sucks. It's kind of cool that you like. It's kind of cool that you like drop through the floor and stuff, but
Go
just
through the
smashing on the tree's balls. I'm just like, yeah.
I like the tree.
The big slimy hand that comes
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, the more
This-
weird it is, the better.
It was
This
definitely
tree hug-
weird. I give it that, but it was kind of an odd. I don't know. I just wasn't like a huge fan. But anyway, sorry. Go
This
ahead,
tree
Tim.
hugs you.
Tim, what is the worst boss in the game?
Well, you see. Let's see, Ben. What'd you say your favorite was?
My favorite
I was
was the
kidding.
dancer. No, it's alright. The heart's is the dancer.
Oh, no. I guess. I wish that Wolnir was more consistent and more difficult.
Yeah,
I like a lot about Wolnir.
yeah.
I like his background. I like the way he looks. I like all
yeah.
that. His
That's
fight
true.
is just so. It's really inconsistent between I'm gonna run in there, I'm gonna hit R1 like 16 times and be done, or I'm gonna run in there and I'm just gonna get gassed.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Wolnir is definitely like can take the cake. It is the worst one.
Missed potential.
Yeah. Yeah, he was interesting, but not quite there.
Right. Like the whole story behind him is badass. He was like this warlord, and that crown he wears is melted down crowns. All the other
it's like
countries
Game
he's
of Thrones
conquered.
style.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, that's
but
sweet.
then because he was afraid of the abyss, he made those shackles.
Mm.
This
Yeah,
whole kingdom got swallowed, but he's like just barely alive.
Yeah,
Oh, is that why
took
he's
those,
like hanging there or like
He
He
laying
took those
there?
bracelets and that sword from clerics because he thought it would
Mhm.
ward off the abyss.
Which it kind of did.
I'm not sure if they actually did or they worked just because he thought they did. But yeah, I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, and then we break him and pull him into hell.
Yeah, or if there's
Ah!
a unique,
Such is life.
unique animation if you don't, or if you kill him, and he has at least one of those bracelets still
Yeah.
on.
Oh, it's
Really?
different.
Yeah,
I don't think I saw that.
because he killed the bracelets and he just falls in there because like, well, I guess I'm dead now.
What kind of life is that really? Just like laying there. It's more of a mercy killing.
Get in that ass.
All right, let's move on. This is gonna be our last
All
round.
he
We're
has
gonna
to do is not touch the skeleton. You didn't have to touch it. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our favorite boss in the game. David, you want to start?
I don't know. Don't have one. I don't.
You really don't have one? Like now you
There
want
we
to
go.
I
start?
literally. Well, I'm sure I'll think of something once you guys say something.
Okay. We'll come back
I don't
to that.
remember.
Yeah, we'll
I
come
played
back
it
to
too long ago.
because he too misses his invisible dragon child.
Then he spikes into the ground halfway
Alright.
into the fight.
Yeah,
May or
Name
may
was-
not.
We'll come
Samus
back to
King was a
bosses.
good one.
Pruitt, what's your favorite boss?
I have to go to the DLC Gale, dude.
Ah,
He's-
Gale's real good.
As like the last boss of a game that is supposedly the last in the series, Gale is fucking awesome
Mhm.
because like he gets you into the painted world, right? And you're like, oh, he's just this crazy old redhead man. And then you go through the DLC, you're at the end of the world. You and Gale are the last fucking two things remaining that are like not completely crippled and useless. And then he's like this giant fucking like deformed version of himself, and you gotta whoop his ass. And then he just goes ape shit. Like his fighting style is like it's like you're fighting a fucking animal.
yeah.
But meanwhile, he's got this fucking like super like Doctor Strange cape that like he swings and then it follows up after him and
Oh,
slaps
wow.
the shit out of you. There's
Yeah.
lightning and shit in the middle of the fight, and when you kill him, you can go back to the painted world and give his ashes, like his dark soul, to the little girl. Who's like the painter that paints the new worlds.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Oh, I was
Got that
expecting Uncle."
pigment.
She's like, "Oh, I was expecting Uncle Gale to return with the pigment." So you just killed her uncle,
Yeah.
and you gave her his fucking blood or soul, whatever the fuck, that she's gonna paint a new world with.
Oh,
But she doesn't have a clue. She's like, "Oh, thank you, Uncle Gale. I hope he comes home soon." It's just,
Also, the chapel's on fire.
yeah, but the whole
Yeah.
building's on fire. It's just like, and that's why I was like, maybe I'm the bad guy.
Hey,
And I love that he's an absolute nobody. He
Yeah,
was a
he's just
slave
nothing.
knight.
He was nothing. He was always nothing.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty
since-
cool.
They grabbed the undead, and since they're like, well, they can't die, so this is the perfect fodder.
Yeah,
We'll just
for,
send
like,
him.
slaves.
He's at the front of every army
Yep.
because he'll die.
And-
but that's fine.
And
His
he made it to the end of the world. Fucking Gale is a badass. I still think my theory is he's the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Okay, I'll move on. My favorite boss battle was the Twin Princes, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I really like
I
that
thought it would
one.
be fair, and I thought it'd be Abyss Watchers.
Yeah, I was between those two, but I think Abyss Watchers is probably that's
music.
usually my go-to. But I really liked the build-up to the Twin Princes. I like climbing those stairs and all that stuff, like to get there. And then the music was great. I thought their moves were interesting. It was kind of I think it brought out the most like emotional reaction, if you can even say that, like to the fight, because you almost pitied
That makes
them
sense.
in a way. So yeah, I think that's probably my favorite boss fight. Yeah, that one was really, really good. It was tough. I don't think it was the hardest, but it was definitely tough, and it was challenging. It was cool how you I really think I just like that whole area. Honestly, it's just that whole build up. It was just a really cool area to fight through. Through the drag, it was challenging, but the puzzles kind of were interesting to open up the elevators and all that stuff. It was it was just cool.
Lothric's badass.
Yeah, I forget who's the one. I'm just remembering all these bosses.
Dragon Slayer armor?
That's who I was thinking. Yeah, the Dragon Slayer was a
Nice,
fun
Tim.
one too. Yeah, there was
He's just a puppet.
lot. Man,
That's a crazy shit.
that was a
That
great-
armor,
yeah.
that armor is just there's giant flying pygmies. That's what's
Yeah.
controlling that. It's like a puppet.
Yeah, man, it's wild.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait,
you
are you
fight-
sure?
Pretty sure.
I thought it was the armor had been fighting dragons so much, and through some means it became animate.
Well, I think they're tied because after you kill him, the pygmies that are flying around in that fight, they die too. So I think they're tied to it somehow. I could be wrong. I don't know. This is the
I don't
fucking
know.
thing with
Not
Dark Souls.
100%.
It's just Dark Souls is just oh yeah, fucking whatever. That might be right. I don't know. It's just a game.
That whole library or catacomb or whatever you call it, that was some crazy fun too in
Grand
that area.
Archives.
Yes, that was a cool
Yeah.
area. I just like that whole area. I think that's what. And then when you finish with the Twin Prince, I thought it was awesome.
That fight
So,
is pretty good.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Rise, if you would, for that
Yeah.
is our curse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
fucking-
was cool.
Shut up.
I'm crippled.
So David, do you have a favorite one yet, or are you good? But
I
you
think
just
yeah,
agree.
like I said earlier, Nameless King. I think
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's definitely a fair
tough as he
fair
is,
pick.
yeah.
Yeah.
that's a good one.
It's just bad. You're fighting him on a storm cloud,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
fuck it. I love that after you kill him, it just dissipates, and this
Mhm.
giant arena was just a little bridge, and you're
Yeah.
what the fuck? Where did everything else go?
So if I'm hearing a consensus, I'm thinking that as a podcast, our hardest boss is probably the Nameless King. The worst boss is probably Wolnir, and the favorite boss is probably Gale. Am I sort of?
I did gush pretty hard. on
It's
Gale,
hard
to
for
be
me
fair.
to say Gale because I don't think I ever got there.
I don't think I played him.
Oh, we'll
Yeah.
fucking get you.
Yeah, I want to get there this time again because I was only level 125 because we were PvPing and I was a new game plus 7. That DLC
Oh,
was
God.
so hard that I just was just forget it, man. Yeah, I was getting annihilated.
So you weren't leveling up, is why it made it more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
like level 500
yeah.
something on
It was to
class.
stay in PvP range.
Yeah. That was to
Fair
stay
enough.
in PvP range. So as soon as the DLC came out, I beat the first one. And but man, it was the Ring City was really hard. It was like new game plus 7, and then I was only level 125. I was getting wrecked. So.
You got to go through like 3 layers of bullshit just to get to the city.
Dude,
you got to like go
we
down
were-
the ash heap.
Yeah,
And
we
then you
were
gotta get
working
through the
on it
shit
for a while.
wall.
I think
Yeah.
some of my buddies got through it, but I wasn't with them at the time. And
It's horrible.
so-
You got to kill the angels that have fucking like AC 130s.
yeah. Hopefully this time. Hopefully this time, as we work through this game, I'll get there. Yeah.
We'll get you there.
So that kind of brings us to our final. The other thing I want to say is I think we really want to work on our Let's Play content, our Twitch content. So I think as a podcast, we're going to start working on and do some Dark Souls 3 Let's Plays. So when we're playing, I think I'm going to start streaming it. And beyond Dark Souls 3, I want to figure out a good way to stream Bloodborne, because I got halfway through Bloodborne before some of my unemployed friends left me behind. And so I still need to beat the rest of Bloodborne. So I think we're gonna do some Soulsborne Let's Plays coming up here, and I think we're gonna I'm gonna make a Twitter for us. I guess as much as I can't stand Twitter, we need to figure out better ways of as we grow an audience of letting people know when we go live and stuff, and then put out our content. So I think that's gonna be our next thing. My goal is to have a significant amount of content built up before we really start publicizing, but I think we're going to start trying to build that sort of side of things, so I want to do that this week. But yeah, I think that wraps up. I don't know, Tim, you got anything else to ask Pruitt? Anything to add to Dark Souls 3?
I had the entirety of the news section, but if you think we're going long, we can finish here.
Yeah, we're at an hour. Is there something kind of big? You maybe want to pick
amazing,
two things?
amazing chest ahead.
Well, why don't we just blow through these real quick?
Sure, yeah. Let's try it.
All right.
I don't really have
First
anything
and
to do.
least-
I'm just,
First and least important, Lord of the Rings MMO's coming. Who cares? I don't.
Me.
literally no one.
Don't they,
I like Lord of the Rings. I don't like MMOs.
don't they already
Yeah.
have one?
I thought they did.
No.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
pretty
think
sure they
so.
do.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Must be
don't
great
know.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I tell you what, something I am excited
If we're
for.
debating its existence.
Yeah,
The thing I
right.
am excited for is the Amazon Lord of the Rings show. I think has potential.
absolutely.
Yeah. Just the people that got working on it, I think it could be good. I think it's a prequel to the Fellowship, right?
It's on the second age. So between basically before the ring was ever created or
Oh,
destroyed. So it's
Okay.
all
So
before
it's
that.
really back there. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that has
What are we gonna
potential. I think we're probably, or at least, you're not into Game of Thrones, right?
Nah, not too much.
And then you got
Okay.
The Witcher.
So me and David
That's
were really
true. Yeah,
into
that's one
well,
of
me
the
and
things.
David were really into Game of Thrones. I think we both are. At least me. I'm still looking for something to fill that void.